Assalamu alaikum, dear friends and students. Today we will discuss the IUPAC nomenclature of different classes of organic compounds. It's a part A of our lecture series. So in this lecture, we will discuss the IUPAC nomenclature of alkanes, alkyl halides, alcohols, cycloalkanes, bicyclic compounds, alkenes, cycloalkenes, and alkynes. So let us begin our lecture with this information that there are 16 million organic compounds known to date. Each individual compound should have a unique name. Say thanks to the IUPAC for categorizing these and devising sets of rules to name them. Although the IUPAC naming system is widely accepted, however, some common names which are commonly used by the chemist and in commerce, we have to learn the names, those common names along with the IUPAC names. So this is the first topic of our lecture, the IUPAC nomenclature of alkanes. The ending for all names of alkanes is "ane". The names of most alkanes stem from the Greek and the Latin words "meth" for one, "eth" for two, "prop" for three, "but" for four, "pent" for five, and so on, so on, so on. So this is the list of the unbranched alkanes, and the first member is the methane, and second member is the ethane for 2-carbon alkane. The third member is the propane for 3-carbon, and then butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane. These are the first 10 members of the alkanes family. Before starting to discussing the examples of alkanes, first we must know what alkyl group is. So removal of one hydrogen atom from an alkane gives birth to the alkyl group. For example, this is the formula of methane, and if we remove one hydrogen from this methane, the resulting CH3 group is called the methyl group. And with the example of the ethane, when H is removed, it's called ethyl, and when H is removed from propane, it's called propyl, and so on, so on, so on. So these are some sets of rules that we must learn. First of all, the longest carbon chain is to be considered. For example, in this particular case, we have this red carbon chain to be considered because it is containing the 7 carbons. However, if we consider this chain which is in blue, it has just 6 carbon. So it's 7 carbon obviously is larger than 6 carbon chain. So this is the carbon that is to be chosen. In rule 2, use the lowest number of substituents and then use the number obtained by rule 2 to designate the location of the substituent. So what does it mean? It means that once you have chosen the long carbon chain, the other thing is to locate the substituent and name it. For example, this is the methyl group, CH3 for methyl, and it is at the carbon number 3. If you count from in this terminal 1, 2, 3, so it is at 3 positions. So the name of this compound is 3-methyl heptane and not 5-methyl heptane, because in naming 5-methyl heptane, we are considering the methyl uh, at the 5th position, which is not in reality, because rule 2 says use the lowest number of substituents. We have another rule: for 2 or more substituents, use the lowest possible individual numbers of the parent chain. The substituents should be listed alphabetically, and the term di, tri, tetra, etc., they are not considered while alphabetization. So what does rule 4 say? For example, this is the case. We have an alkane which has the 8 carbon in a chain, and there are 2 substituents. One is called the methyl, the other is called the ethyl. But where should we start the numbering from? If we start from the left hand side, which is shown here, So the first substituent will be at position 2. But if we start from the other side and to the right hand side, this first substituent will come at position 3. So as per rule, we have to start from the left hand side so that the substituent comes nearer in case of counting. Well, once you have decided which carbon is to be numbered 1, the other thing is to write the name. And in writing the name, as you know, there are two substituents. One is called the methyl and the other is called ethyl. E is the letter that comes prior to M in the alphabets. So it must be 6 ethyl 2 methyl and not 2 methyl 6 ethyl, because in this case, which is written in green, uh, methyl is written earlier prior to ethyl, which is wrong. One more rule: when two substituents are present on the same carbon, use the number twice. For example, at carbon number 4 we have a methyl and we have an ethyl. So 4 is to be written 2 times. 4 ethyl, 4 methyl octane. Octane because of 8 carbon, and ethyl is written prior to methyl because of the alphabetical order. Another rule: for the identical substituents, we have to use the prefixes di, tri, tetra, and so on. For example, in this case, we have the two methyl groups attached at carbon number 2 and carbon number 4. So we must write 2,4-dimethyl. With the term di, it means there are two similar substituents at position 2 and 4. And with the hexane, it means there are 6 carbon chain. We have not to write 3,5-dimethyl hexane because it means we are counting from the left hand side, which is wrong because the substituent should come earliest in the numbering. The other example says we have 3 methyl, so it must be trimethyl, and the position must be 2, 4, and 5 because we have to start numbering from the right hand side so that the methyl should come earlier at position 2. If we counted from the left hand side, the first methyl would have come at carbon number 3. So carbon number 2 is obviously it's nearer than carbon number 3. One more rule: when two chains of equal lengths compete for selection as parent chain, choose the chain with the greater number of substituents. What does it say? For example, we have this 7 carbon chain which is called heptane, written in red color, and in the substituents we have 3 methyls and 1 propyl. But if we count from here, we have methyl at 2 position and another methyl at 3 position and the other methyl at 5 position. But if we count from the left hand side, our first substituent will be the methyl, which will be at 3 position. So obviously we will have to start from the right hand side, and once we have decided where should we start from, the other task is to write in the alphabetical order. So with the trimethyl and propyl, we will consider M of methyl and P of propyl. So we know M comes prior to P, so we have to write 2,3,5 methyl 4 propyl heptane. When branching first occurs at an equal distance from either end of the longest chain, choose the name that gives the lower number at the first point of difference. What does it mean? It means that although the first substituent is at position number 2, whether you count from the left hand side or you count from the right hand side, however, the other substituent, the next substituent, will come nearer if you count from the right hand side. For example, if you count from here, so it will be 2, 3, and 5 positions of the substituent. But if you count it from the other side, it will not be 2, 3, 5, rather it will be 2, 4, and 5 positions. So 2, 3, 5 is the lowest number as compared to 2, 4, 5. So this is the correct nomenclature which is written in red. Let's make some practice. And this is the molecule that is to be named. The first task is to choose the longest carbon chain. as a parent. So we have chosen the longest carbon chain. There are two ways to number, whether to number from this carbon up to 7 or vice versa, from this carbon up to 7. Both are correct because both gives the heptane. However, the substituent which is attached on the carbon chain will dictate where should we number from. For example, if we number from this carbon as carbon number 1, so the substituent will be at 3 4 positions. The two substituents will be at 3 4 positions. But if we number from the other side, the substituent will come at 4 and 5 positions. So it is better to have substituents at 3 and 4 positions. So then the name of this molecule will be 3,4-dimethyl heptane because of 7 carbon. Another example, again, you will have to choose the longest carbon chain. So if you choose like this, you will have just 6 carbon chain. But if you choose like this, you will have 8 carbon chains. But if you choose like this, again you will have 8 carbon chain. Now both the second and the third structure have 8 carbon chains, but there is one more option to have the 9 carbon chain if you consider from this carbon up to this carbon. Once you have chosen the maximum carbon chain, now let us deal with the substituent that is attached with the carbon. So it must be ethyl at 4 position, and methyl at 3 and 7 position. So the substituent attachment is 347, which is the correct sequence, and not 367. 367 will come if you count from the right hand side's carbon. Obviously you will have to use the lowest numbering substituent. So the first one is correct. So once you have decided, you will have to put the substituents in the alphabetical order, and you know that E comes prior to M. We will not consider the D because D is for the di, but we will have to consider the M. That's just because of methyl. So E comes prior to M. So we will have to write 4 ethyl 3 7 dimethyl nonane. Nonane because of 9 carbon chain. Well, now let's discuss how to name the branched alkyl groups. For alkanes with more than 2 carbon atoms, more than one derived alkyl group is possible. For example, if we have 3 carbon chain as a group, so we have two options, whether to write in a linear fashion, which is called normal propyl, or simply propyl. Either or the branched carbon is also possible for 3-membered carbon, which is called the isopropyl. So as the carbon number increases, we have more options. For example, for 4 carbon atoms, either we have the butyl, in which all 4 carbons are in a linear fashion, or the isobutyl, in which we have C and then isopropyl attached, or the secondary butyl, or the tertiary butyl. So all these 4 substituents correspond to C4H7, and that is butyl. That is the the isomers of the butyl. For the 5 carbon, we are just considering the one which is very common. It's called neopentyl. It's very similar to the tertiary butyl. Consider the tertiary butyl. The only difference is the presence of one more CH2 after this tertiary butyl group to have the neopentyl substituent. Now let us consider the example again. So the first task is to choose the longest carbon chain as parent. Now they have shown 4 options, and obviously and A cannot be the answer because it has the shorter carbon chain. Even B cannot be the answer, it's a shorter carbon chain. C is also not the answer. It's written A has 6 carbon chain, B has 7 carbon chain, C has 8 carbon chain, and D has 9 carbon chain. So once we have decided the carbon chain as parent, our next task is to number. Where should we number from? Again, we have two options, whether to start from the left hand side or to start from the right hand side. If we start from the left hand side, our substituent will come at 5 6 position. But if we start from the right hand side, our substitution will come at 4 5 position. So 4 5 is the lower numbering as compared to 5 6. So we will consider the 4 5 positions. So once you have decided the position, now let us discuss our name. And this substituent which is marked as blue is called the isopropyl. The other substituent which is marked as green is called the tertiary butyl. Now we will have to uh, write the IUPAC name, but the alphabetical order is also to be followed. For the alphabetical order, we know that uh, butyls B comes prior to the isopropyl I. So the complete name will be 5 tertiary butyl 4 isopropyl nonane. And remember, we do not write the whole word tertiary. We just write the abbreviated term TERT, and we do not consider it in the alphabetical order. As you could see, we just ignore T, but we could start consider the B of the butyl, and but we will not ignore the iso. We will have to consider the I of iso. So B versus I, B definitely comes prior to I. One more example, again the longest carbon chain as usual. Uh, we have the 8 carbon chain or 9 or 10. So we will choose this 10 carbon chain. Once you have chosen, this is the secondary butyl group and this is the neopentyl group that we have just seen. Um, let's discuss about the position. It's a 5 6 position, and if you consider the counting from here, again it's a 5 6 position. So once the position are same, so the alphabetical order will be considered. The alphabetical order says it says B versus N. So we will count from the left hand and the right hand side. It will be a 5 secondary butyl, 6 neopentyl decane. So this is the nomenclature of alkanes, and now we will discuss about the nomenclature of alkyl halides, which is very much similar to the nomenclature of alkane, with the only difference of the presence of the halo groups. So this is the general formula of alkyl halides, Rx, where X is fluoro, chloro, bromo, or iodo. All names are written here, and these halogens are treated as substituent like we treated the different alkyl substituents. For example, methyl, ethyl, propyl, butyl, etc., etc. So considering the rules that we discussed in the alkanes nomenclature, same will be applied here. 4 carbon chain, and this is the 4 carbon chain, so it's a butane, and there is a chloro and bromo attached, and we know that bromo will come prior to chloro because B comes prior to C, so the name will be 2 bromo 1 chloro butane. For the other molecule, again we will have to count from here because this carbon number 1 has the substituent attached, but if you count from the other side, there is no substituent. So let us count from here: 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now there are 2 chloros and 1 methyl, and you know that chloro C comes prior to methyl. We will not consider D in this D for di, but we will consider C for chloro and M for methyl. So the name of this molecule will be 1,4-dichloro-3-methyl hexane. Now let us discuss about the nomenclature of the alcohols. The first rule is the selection of the longest carbon chain, which is bearing the hydroxyl group. And once you have chosen, uh, you have to consider that the ending of the alkane will be replaced to the alkanol for the alcohol. Number the longest continuous carbon chain so as to give the carbon atom bearing the hydroxyl group to the lower number. indicate the position of the hydroxyl group by using this number as a locate. So let us discuss these two rules in the light of the examples. This is the molecule, and you know this is alcohol because it has the hydroxy group and it has 3 carbon chains, so it's a propane. But we will have to say 2 propanol. 2 propanol we are saying because there is an alcohol at 2 position. So this 2 refers to the position of the alcohol. So we say 2 propanol. If this hydroxy, if it were here at carbon number 1, attached to carbon number 1, we would say 1 propanol. So this is the name, and it has also one more name. If we simply just split the word propanol and put the locant 2 between the word propanol. But we will consider the first name, and the isopropyl alcohol is the common name, not the IUPAC name. Now let us discuss the nomenclature of this compound. Again, we have 4 carbon, so we will call it butane, but there are 3 hydroxys attached at carbon number 1, 2, and 3. And remember, we will start counting from the right hand side because in doing so, we will have the substituents at 1, 2, 3. If we count it from the left hand side, it would be not 1, 2, 3, but 2, 3, 4. So obviously 1, 2, 3 is better than 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3 butane triol. Tri means 3, ols mean alcoholic groups. So 1, 2, 3 butane triol. For this molecule, this is carbon number 1, which is directly attached to the hydroxy, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we will just say 4-methyl because the methyl group is attached at carbon number 4, 1-pentanol. For this molecule, we have the hydroxy at 1 position. One more example. Now here, it's a very interesting example because if you consider the carbon chain, so obviously we have this 8 carbon chain, which is very much longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if you consider this carbon chain, we have just 7. But the problem is that we will have to consider the hydroxy as directly attached to the carbon. So we will have to consider this 7 carbon chain, not this 8 carbon chain, because if you consider the 8 carbon chain, this hydroxy will not be on this carbon chain. So it's our compulsion to consider this 7 carbon chain because it contains the hydroxy. Once you have decided, the second task is to locate the substituents. For this particular example, if you think, if you consider this propyl, this is at position number 5, and this alcohol is position number 6. But if you consider numbering from the left hand side, we have the alcohol at position number 2 and propyl at number 3. So obviously, being position at 2 is better than being position at 6. So we will consider numbering from the left hand side, and let's name this compound. And this compound is 2-heptanol if you just exclude the alkyl for the time being, because 2 is the position of the alcohol, heptane is the number of total carbons, and all for the alcohol. Now put the substituent, that is propyl in this particular case, which is lying at position number 3. So the name must be 3-propyl 2-heptanol. 3-propyl means the propyl is lying at position number 3. 2-heptanol means there are 7 carbons with hydroxy at position number 2. Now let us discuss about the nomenclature of the cycloalkanes. Cycloalkanes with only one ring we are discussing. Uh, all you need to do is to just put the word cyclo before the total number of carbons that are present. For example, there are 3 carbons and which is cyclic in nature, so we will call it cyclopropane. And for this molecule we will just name a cyclopentane because there are 5 carbons and cycle is there. So considering this cyclopropane as a parent, we have the isopropyl group attached to this cyclopropane. So the name of this compound is isopropyl cyclopropane. For this, we have the methyl group attached to cyclobutane, so we will call it methyl cyclobutane. Here, one thing more must be considered, that we are not referring the position of methyl. It is deliberate because uh, it's always at number 1, so it's useless to write 1 methyl cyclobutane, because if the methyl were here, we would call it 1 from this position. So we will never say 1 or 2 if we are referring just one, if we are having just one substituent on the cyclic compound. So this compound must have the name tertiary butyl cyclopentane, the third compound. However, if we have more than one substituent, so we will have to number those substituents, and obviously we will consider this carbon will as number 1 because it has ethyl group attached, and you know that we have to name ethyl first and then methyl. So this must be 1 ethyl 3 methyl cyclopentane, and this is not to be numbered like this, that 1 methyl and 4 methyl, because in doing so we will have 1 4 di substitution, which is not the right case when we have 1 3 di substitutions possibility. And neither we may write 3 ethyl 1 methyl cyclopentane pentane by considering the methyl carbon as number 1. As I have mentioned, ethyl, since it comes prior to methyl, so it is to be chosen as number 1 for this cycloalkane. So another example here, we did not choose the ethyl as number 1, but we chose the methyl as number 1. So what is the reason? The reason is that in doing so, we will have the methyl at 1, the ethyl at 2, and then 3 has the CH2, and then 4 has bromo. So the substituents are at 1 to 4 position. If you consider the other case, the bromose carbon as 1, we will have the substituents at 1 3 and 4. So as per rule, the substituent which are nearer to the starting of the number, that is to be chosen. So we will choose this methyl to be 1. We cannot choose the ethyl, because if you choose the ethyl as number 1, obviously then you will say this methyl to be number 2, then 3 4 5, the bromo will come at 5 position. So this is the only option left, which gives the lowest number. So this is 1 methyl, 2 ethyl, and 4 bromo. And now the alphabetical order comes. You know that bromo is the bromo comes prior to ethyl, and ethyl comes prior to methyl. So the name must be 4 bromo 2 ethyl 1 methyl cyclohexane, because it's a 6-membered cycle. So it is called cyclohexane. So it's written lowest number of substituents are 1 to 4 and not 1 3 4. More examples. We have the hydroxy group attached, and the methyl and the ethyl. Here, if you count from the hydroxy as number 1, you have 1 3 and 4 substitution at 1 carbon, at 3 carbon, and 4 carbon. This is obviously the right way to count. However, if you count from methyl, it will be wrong, because it will give you 1 position and then 2 position for the ethyl, and then 4 5 and 6. So it will be wrong to count like this. Anyways, if you count from the ethyl, again you will have the same substituents. For example, 1 for this ethyl, 2 for this methyl, and 4 for this hydroxy. So if you count from ethyl's carbon, or if you count from the hydroxy's carbon, you have the same number of substituents. However, the rule says when we have the hydroxy group attached, its carbon must be numbered prior to any other options. And this is written here. And the carbon bearing the hydroxy should have the lowest numbering, even though 1 to 4 is lower than 1 3 4. And yes, if you consider from this carbon, it will be 1 to 4, 1 2 and 4. But if you consider from here, it is not 1 to 4, it's 1 3 4. So irrespective of this, you will have to consider the hydroxy to be 1 position. So the name of this molecule will be 4 ethyl, because E comes prior to methyl. 4 ethyl 3 methyl cyclohexanol. Now let us discuss about the nomenclature of bicyclic compounds. And there are three types of bicyclic compounds. One is called the fused bicyclic compound, the other is called the bridge bicyclic compound, and the third is called the spirocyclic compounds. So let us discuss in detail for the each bicyclic compound. Let's start with the fused bicyclic compounds. And there are two rings which share two adjacent atoms. And this is the structure of fused bicyclic compound. And fused carbon is always, and these carbon which are at the junction of two rings is called the fused carbon. And there are two fused carbons. It says the fused carbon is always number one. It's a rule of IUPAC. While naming the fused bicyclic compound, we will have to uh, consider the fused carbon to be one. However, we may consider this carbon as one which is written here, or this carbon as one which is written here. It depends on the substituent, that is, for example, which we have bromo. So we will discuss why we chose this carbon to be one and not this carbon to be one, because the larger ring is to be numbered prior. If you consider this carbon to be one, and this is the 5-membered ring, and this is 4-membered ring, so we will have to cover the larger ring first. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is the only option left, because if you consider this carbon as one, this the fifth carbon, you will have to cover the larger ring first as per rule. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the bromo would have come at 7th position, not at 6th position. So this is the only um, way to number for this particular molecule. So the name must be the 6th bromo. We will have to write the word bicyclo before the bicyclic compound, and we will tell you why we use these numbers 320 after some time. And there are total 7 carbons, so it's called the heptane. So the name is 6-bromo bicycloheptane. Now let us discuss why 320. It's a rule for the fused bicyclic compound that we have to write some numbers in the parenthesis. So where have these numbers come from? Uh, we For this larger ring we have 3 atoms, uh, if we exclude the fused carbon. So the 3 is the number of atoms excluding the fused carbon from the larger ring. 2 is the number of atoms excluded the fused carbon for the shorter ring. So it's 3, 2. And 0 we have written because there is no atom between the carbon 1 and carbon 5. Between the fused carbon, we do not have any atom. Now you must be wondering why we will always have 0 atoms. So why do we write 0? It's because for the other bicyclic compound that we will discuss after some time. So let us consider more examples. Here there is no issue of considering which carbon, which ring to be considered prior to the other ring, because both rings are of the same size. So these are the two fused carbons. We have to choose this carbon as number one or this carbon as number one. So this will be decided by the substituents. For example, if you consider this carbon as one, you have the ethyl at 2 position. But if you consider this carbon as one, you have the methyl at 2 position, and you know that ethyl is better than methyl in case of numbering because of lower uh, alphabetical order. So this is carbon 1, this is carbon 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now just consider the substituents alphabetical order and write it. For example, C for chloro, E for ethyl, M for methyl. C comes prior to E comes prior to M. So it must be 7 chloro, 2 ethyl, 4 methyl, bicyclo because of bicyclic compound, and 330 octane. Octane is because there are total 8 carbons of these two rings. We will not consider the ethyl and methyl because they are the substituent, but we will consider the rings carbon, which are 8 in counting. So it's octane, and 330 has come from, and there are 3 carbons. And if we exclude the fused carbon for this ring, and we have also, there are 3 carbon if we exclude the fused carbon for this ring. So 3 for one rings carbon, 3 for other rings carbon excluding the fused carbon, and 0 because there is no carbon between the two fused rings if you consider directly this bond. Now let us consider one more example. Here again, one is larger ring, one is shorter ring. So as per rule, larger ring is to be numbered prior than the shorter ring, and fused carbon is always number one. So either we have to choose this carbon as one or this carbon as one. choosing this carbon as 1 is better, because if you choose this carbon as 1, so you will have to start like this: 1 2, because larger ring is to be numbered prior to the shorter ring. 3 4 5 6 7, the methyl must be at 7 position. If you consider this carbon as 1, you will have to go like this: 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So the methyl group will come at 9 position, so it's better to have at 7 position. So the name of this compound will be 7 methyl bicyclo again, because of bicyclic compound. 430 is because there are 4 atoms if you exclude the fused carbon atom for this larger ring, and there are 3 atoms if you exclude this these fused carbons for this shorter ring. And 0 just because there is no atom between these fused carbon atoms uh, for this in this bond. And nonane because there are total 9 carbons. So you must have noticed one thing, that in a fused bicyclic compound it's always 0, and the third number is always 0. But when you consider the bridge bicyclic compound, the third number will not be 0. As you could see, it's 1 here. So let us first discuss what the bridge bicyclic compound is. Basically, there are two rings shared, the two rings that share 3 or more atoms, and the carbon which is the part of the bridge is called the bridge head carbon. So there are 2 bridge head carbon for this particular molecule at position 1 and at position 4. And bridge head carbon is always number 1. It's a rule. So again, either we have to choose this carbon as 1 or this carbon as 1 as per rule. This will be dictated by the presence of the substituents, which is the methyl in this case. But here we will have to also consider one more thing, that if you consider this ring, let me show you: 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. It's a 6-membered ring. However, if you consider this ring, 1 2 3 4 5, it's a 5-membered ring. So the larger ring is to be numbered prior to the shorter ring. So we will have to write the numbers like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 must be written at the bridge, must be the part of the bridge. So once you have decided which ring is to be numbered prior, the other task is to consider the substituent. So if you consider this carbon as 1, this bridgehead carbon, methyl will be at 2 position. But if you consider this carbon as 1, the ethyl group must be at carbon number 3 position. So 2 is better than being at 3 position. So the name must be 2-methyl bicyclo for the bicyclic compound, and 2 to 1. Now why 2 to 1 this time? Because there are 2 carbons, this carbon and this carbon, between these bridgehead carbons, and the other 2 is for this 2. There are again 2 carbon between the bridgehead carbons, and for 1 we have 1 carbon between these 2 bridgehead carbon. This 7th carbon is the one carbon. And heptane because there are total 7 carbons, excluding this carbon because this is the methyl, which is the substituent. You may see, and now in this case, the bridge bicyclic compound, we do not have the 0 here as a third number, but we have some number. So it is also a good guide whenever you see the nomenclature. You could clearly recognize whether the compound is the fused bicyclic compound or bridge bicyclic compound by just looking at the third number in the parenthesis. If it is 0, it's a fused bicyclic compound. If it is non-zero, it's a bridge bicyclic compound. Rest things are same. Let's consider more examples. Again, we will have to consider the bridgehead carbon as 1. So this is carbon number 1. This could also be the carbon number 1, but the problem is that we have the substituent that is attached at carbon number 1. So we will consider this carbon as 1, because if we consider this carbon as 1, so this isopropyl must have come at 4 position. So we will consider this carbon as number 1. So we will consider uh, one isopropyl being at position number 1, bicyclo, 2 2 2. Now there are 3 times 2. uh, One, the first 2 has come from this blue side, because there are 2 carbons between the bridgehead carbon, and the other two has come from the right hand side. Again, there are two carbon between the bridgehead carbons, and the third two has come from these two, this carbon number 7 and 8, because again there are two carbon between the bridgehead positions, and octane because there are total 8 carbons. Now let us discuss the third type of bicyclic compound, which is different than these two. It's called spirocyclic compound. The structure of spirocyclic compound is this: there are two rings which share only single atoms, and this carbon is called the spirocarbon, which is the quaternary carbon, and it has never been one in the nomenclature, and this is a rule. So either we have this carbon as one or this carbon as one, because the rule says the smaller ring is numbered prior. This is the reverse of the fused bicyclic and bridge bicyclic, where we used to consider the larger ring the as the larger ring as the number of carbon to be in the sequence. But in this spiro case, we will consider the smaller ring prior to the larger ring. So this is carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The name must be the spiro. Its name starts from the spiro, and 4, 5 because there are 4 carbons between uh, in this ring. If you exclude this spiro carbon, and 5 carbon for this ring again if you exclude this spiro carbon, and decane because there are total 10 carbons. So in this particular example, even if you consider this carbon to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it would be no matter because there are no substitutions. However, if you put the substitutions, then we will have to consider this is the spirocarbon. So this is the shorter ring. So this carbon must be the one carbon, but this carbon could also be the first carbon. And now we will have to decide, if you consider this carbon to be the first carbon, the substituent will come at the carbon number 2. But if you consider this carbon, the substituent will come at carbon number 3. So it is better to consider this carbon. So carbon number 2 has the methyl, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7 has also the methyl. So it has 2, 6, 2, 6, 7 trimethyl, spiro because of spirocyclic compound, 4, 5, 4, 5 because 4 means there are 4 atoms if you exclude the spirocarbon for this shorter ring, and 5 means there are 5 atoms if you exclude this spirocarbon for this larger ring. So 4, 5 and decane because there are total 10 carbons. For this another example, we have again two rings linked by one carbon. This is called the spirocarbon. This is the smaller ring. This is the larger ring. The smaller ring is numbered prior to the larger ring. Now we will have to decide whether this is to be one or this carbon to be one. So you know, this bromo containing carbon will be one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if you consider 4 here, there will be no substitution. So it's better to be 4 here. 4, 5, 6, 7. So the name must be 1 bromo 4 ethyl because the alphabetical order is also being followed, and 6 isopropyl spiro 2 2 2 4 heptane, 2 because 2 carbons excluding the spiro, 4 because 4 carbon excluding the spiro for this ring, and heptane because there are total 7 carbons. So these are the nomenclature for the bicyclic compounds. So now let's discuss the nomenclature of alkenes and cycloalkanes. Select the longest chain that contains a carbon-carbon double bond as the parent name, and change the name ending to the of the alkane to the -ene. And the rule says number the chain so as to include the both carbon atoms of carbon-carbon double bond. Begin numbering at the end of the carbon chain nearer to carbon-carbon double bond. Assign the location of C double bond C by using the number of the first atom of C double bond C as the prefix. So this will be better understood when we take the example. This is the 4 carbon chain with a double bond. Uh, this will be 1 butene because there is a double bond at one position. Although the double bond is lying between 1 and 2, but we will say 1 butene, not 1 comma 2 butene, because it is obvious to say 1 butene. 1 butene, we may also say but-1-ene, but we will not consider this name. We will consider 1 butene. And also one thing to be considered here, if you count it from here 1, 2, 3, the double bond must have come at 3 position, which is wrong, because the double bond, we will have to consider the numbering from where the double bond comes nearer. For the other example, again we will have to consider from this position, because it will consider the carbon double bond at 2 position. If you consider from here, the double bond will come at 4 position. So 2 being shorter number is better than being 4. So this will be 2 hexene. More examples indicate the locations of the substituent group by the number of the carbon atoms to which they are attached. So once you have decided where we have to start uh, numbering from, and the other task is to assign the substituent. For example, this is the methyl at 2 position, and also a double bond at 2 position. So it will be named as 2-methyl 2-butene. Other examples, uh, we will have to consider from this carbon as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because if you consider it from here, the double bond will not come at 2 position. So once you have decided where we should number from, the other task is to place the substituents. The substituent is at position number 2 and 5. So it's 2,5-dimethyl 2 and hexene, because there are total 6 carbon. So 2,5-dimethyl 2 hexene. It's not numbered from the other side as we discussed. More rules number the number substituted cycloalkenes in the way that it gives the carbon atom of carbon-carbon double bond the 1-2 position, and that also gives the substituent group to the lower number of the first point of difference. What does it mean? It says, when you consider this example, this is number 1 carbon, because if you consider this number 1, the substituent will come at 3 and 5 position. If you consider this as carbon number 1, like which is shown here in the below structure, it will give you the substituent at 4-6 position. So we will have to consider this carbon as 1, and the name of this molecule will become 3,5-dimethyl cyclohexene. More rules. In case of hydroxy, there the alcoholic carbon will be given priority. For example, for this particular case, this carbon will be 1, and then either we have to go the clockwise or anti-clockwise, and we know going clockwise is better, because the methyl will be at 2 position. If you go with the anti-clockwise manner, we will have the methyl at 6 position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the name will be 2-methyl 2-cyclohexene 1-ol. 1-ol, because all at 1 position. More examples. Uh, we will have to count from here, because this is the position which gives the hydroxy at 2 position. If you consider it from here, it will not give you the hydroxy at 2 position. So once you have decided where we have to number from, now just put the substituents 4-methyl, because the methyl is at 4 position, and 3-pentene 2-ol, because the double bond is at 3 position and there are total 5 carbons, and the ol at 2 position. The name is 4-methyl 3-pentene 2-ol. These there are further examples for this molecule. Obviously, the first task is to choose the longest carbon chain, but including the double bond. So once you have decided and this carbon chain, that is the 7 carbon chain including this double bond, and then you have to number it from this carbon, because it will directly give you the first carbon to be the double bonded carbon. And then you will have to consider the methyl at 2 position and tertiary butyl at 4 position. The alphabetical order says tertiary butyl comes prior to the methyl, because B comes prior to methyl. So the name must be 4 tertiary butyl 2 methyl 1 heptene, because there are 7 carbons, so it's heptene, and 1 means the double bond is at first position. For cis trans, we just need to put cis or trans word prior to the nomenclature. If it is cis, we will say cis. If it is trans, we will write trans. The rest nomenclature is same as we discussed. Now let us discuss about the nomenclature of alkynes. And the name alkyne, the word "ine" is added in the end of the "ene." In the end, but as you consider this example, We have total 7 carbons, so it's heptane, but we have a triple bond, so it's not heptane, it's heptine. We will have to consider this carbon as one. So triple bond comes near from the lowest number position. So it's 2 heptine or heptuine, not, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heptine, because if you count from here, it will be 5 heptine. More examples again, but there are 4 carbons, and the triple bond is at first position, so it's called 4 bromo 1 butane, uh, because B comes prior to bromo comes prior to bute. This is also another example of alkyne. There are total 10 carbons in chain. We will have to number from here, because in doing so we will have the triple bond at 3 position, and if you number from here, we will not have at 3 position, rather we will have at larger number position. So once you have decided to number, now consider the substituent. It's isopropyl, it's iodo, it's bromo, it's methyl. So just consider the alphabetical order. It's called 9 bromo because bromo comes prior to iodo, which comes prior to isopropyl, and which in turn comes prior to methyl. So 9 bromo, 7 iodo, 6 isopropyl, 8 methyl and decyne. 8 methyl and decyne, 3 decyne. 3 because the position at 3, and D because of 10 carbons. When we have a hydroxy, so the priority is given to the hydroxy and not to the triple bond. For this particular example, we will count from this carbon, which is giving the hydroxy at one position. We will not count from here, which will not give you the hydroxy at one position. So the name of this molecule will be 3-butyne-1-ol, because this time the triple bond will be considered at 3 position, and there are total 4 carbons. So it's 3-butyne 1-ol, that is uh, triple bond at 3, ol at 1, and total 4 carbons. We will not count from here. For this particular example, again, if we will count from here, so it will give you the hydroxy at 2 position. So the name must be, there are total 8 carbons, so it is octine, and the substituent methyl is at 2 position, so it's called 2-methyl 5-octyne 2-ol. Not we will count from here, as discussed. So these are the nomenclatures for different functional groups. In the next lecture, we will consider more functional groups. Thank you.